Hello everyone, Karen Berry here. I'm an oblique finger weaver, and today I wanted to show you how to incorporate beads into your project. A lot of the videos I use my demonstration yarn, practice yarn, but this is the weight that I normally use, which is a fingering weight wool. And the way you want to do your beads and figure out a pattern, for instance, I'm going to be doing a 5 bead diamond. So if you want to have 5 beads on each side of your diamond, you would need to string beads onto every 5th strand. So I have beads already strung on this strand. So then I'm going to go over 5, which is this guy, and I will show you how you do that. So basically you're going to take the end of your strand here, and this is beeswax. You can get it at craft supply stores or online, or all kinds of places have it. And basically you're just gonna run it through the wax and your thumb here until you make kind of a needle out of it. So you get some nice wax going on there. And then you kind of twist it a little bit. And let's see, a little bit more. Okay, so you see here, you start to get a little bit of a needle. And sometimes I'll kind of blow on it or let it cool down a little bit. It kind of hardens into that needle shape. Another thing sometimes you'll need to do is you'll get kind of a little tip that's a little too flimsy. So you can just cut it like that and twist it, blow on it, let it harden. And then you're going to take your beads into your palm like this, into the other palm, and you can just start kind of scooping them up out of your hand like that. So you just use it basically like a needle. And so I'm going to want to get 5 on here for my next diamond when that comes in my pattern. And so like if you're doing a 3-sided diamond or zigzag or whatever pattern you're doing, then you would have to string beads on every 3rd strand. So that's kind of how the patterns work. So basically, yeah, you're just going to string it on like that. Depends on your project. You might need a lot of these. If you're doing a sash, you're going to need a lot of beads, but sometimes I find it better to just get a few on, start weaving, and then take a bead stringing break. It's a nice way to break up your project. So that's how you get them on the strand. So then beeswax. Okay, so I already have some strands on here, so I'll show you how to bring them up into your weaving as you go. So the way this works is I'm going to go across the way I've shown you, but it is kind of nice chance for you to get to see me weaving on the fingering weight wool, because you can see here it is very hard to see your strands, so you just kind of need to keep practicing until you get used to what you're looking at and make sure you don't cross your streams and all that good stuff. So so we're going to weave across, and when I get to my my row that has my strand that has the beads on it, I'm just going to string up, and in this case it's just one because I'm switching directions. So since this is going to be a 5-sided diamond, I've already started, this will be the 5th, I'm sorry, not 5-sided, 5 bead sided diamond. I'm going to string up that 5th bead into the weave like that. And every time you do a row, you can pull up 2 beads per row. It's just kind of how the math works out as far as the crosshatch lattice that we get going on. So so this is on my bottom warp because I want it to go the other direction. So I'm gonna string up 1 on that as well, because this is where my diamond's gonna change sides here. So so we've got the 5 beads going that way, and then the 1 going this way. So then we're gonna weave across to the other side of our diamond, and this will be the strand that's gonna hit that 4th corner, 4th side of my diamond. And then bring up that last bead. Where is it? There it is. And you're going to string that up. And again, as I said in the materials video, I use size 10 glass check trade beads. You can get those at Crazy Crow. You can get them in bulk. That's what I do because I typically use white. Traditionally, that was the color used. I get crazy sometimes with some other colors, but the white just really pops and it's just a nice look. So I get those by like the kilo or something. So yeah, these white size 10 Czechoslovakian glass beads. And then you can work with 11s if you like. They're a little harder to string on. They look really nice and tight. I find 10s are a good happy medium for me. And then you just keep weaving across. And then I'll show you the next row since we've already turned the corner on our diamond. So if we kind of block that in, you can see it's starting to make that diamond shape. And so, like I said before also, with oblique weaving, it's typically done with one color of yarn like this, so the patterns aren't coming from swapping your warps like they do in warp face weaving. Since it's called open face, it creates a lattice. You see both warps at the same time, so it's usually done with one color of wool, and then your patterns are made with the beads. That's why this is so important to figure out what pattern you want to do and what strands you need to bead, because it takes a while to string those beads onto the strands. So if you can figure the math out to where you're not having to string every single strand, it just saves you a lot of time. So that's why if I'm doing a 5-sided or 5 bead sided diamond, I only have to string every 5th strand, which is, you know, a huge lifesaver there. So so, you know, you just have to kind of figure that out and be creative. I always say, you know, don't just copy pieces you see in old black and white photos, you know. I mean, that's great if you're doing reenactment type stuff. I tend to try and just do my own thing and, you know, be creative with it. But you'll figure out your patterns, and then you just you can save some time by figuring out the math there on your patterns. And so then so like I said before, with each row we string up 2 beads each time, and it wasn't as obvious the last row because I was turning direction, so I actually strung up a bead for 4 different strands. But since I'm on the bottom part of the diamond here, you can see I'm stringing up 2 as I go along. And I'll finish this row real quick and show you how that blocks in. So that's how that ends up turning out there. And you see you kind of block them in as you finish a row. Every time I finish a row, I spend a lot of time blocking. I'm very methodical, and I don't try to weave fast because you know, in order to get it really straight and get that quality, I figure it takes time. So, you know, don't sacrifice the blocking part of it, because otherwise you'll get down here and it'll be crooked or it'll be wobbly. And so you just want to, each time you do a row, just really get it nice and flat and straight. And honestly, to me, that's the therapy behind all of this. It is very relaxing. So if you find yourself stressing out, you know, slow down. Like, this isn't meant to be done fast. So you know, I'm able to weave across pretty quickly, but when it comes to the blocking, I feel like that's a very important step that sometimes people skip, and that's what makes your work look really nice and neat. And it just takes practice, because I know when I first started, I have pieces that were just wobbly and all over the place, and it takes practice to get that edge really straight and nice and even on both sides, because you'll find yourself pulling a little tighter on one side just because your hand was stronger on that side, or something like that. So it takes practice, takes time. Don't get frustrated, and just make sure it is something that is still relaxing and enjoyable, because that's what it is for me. So so enjoy it. So So here I just wanted to show you what the final diamond ends up looking like. So there you go. We've got our 5 bead per side diamond going on. I'll block that guy in there, nice and tight. And you see, you just kind of block that in, get a nice straight row, and a nice pretty diamond. So that's how you do that. So thank you for watching, and check out my other videos. Thanks.